From attic to basement, we're here for you. It's quality service in all we do. Call Taylor. 500 help.
Are you hot? You need an air conditioner? I mean, a heat wave across this country here in Rochester. It's a little warm for the likes of us. We're not used to it. But I know a guy who knows some guys that will come over and put an air conditioner in your house, and they'll do a great job. Taylor 500 Help. There's a lot of the Taylors over there. Taylor Heating and Plumbing. Tailor-made service customized to fit your needs. You need an air conditioner? You need one that actually goes in a room? That's what we have, right, Tom? I mean, it's amazing. Taylor guys came out and installed the air conditioning, and instead of going through the ductwork, because this is an old house in Irondequoit, New York, they put the air conditioner on the wall. You can't even hear it. It's like you can hear a pin drop in the room. Tailor made to fit your needs. That's what they're all about. Air conditioning, heating, plumbing, home energy, comprehensive maintenance plans. If your water heater blows a gasket or whatever, call them. Don't stress the tiny fixes that you need to make everything comfortable in your house. They have financing plans at Taylor 500 Help. Taylor, if you're looking for a job, they're looking to hire you. Current opportunities include HVAC techs, plumbers, project managers, and office personnel. It's Taylor 500 Help. Precision Lawn and Garden, so that your lawn can look better than the guy next door, right? Go see my friends Kimberly and Justin, North Avenue in Webster. They've been helping people with great customer service since 1969. If you need a chainsaw, they have it. If you need the big daddy of all zero-turn lawnmowers, they have it. If you need a smaller lawnmower, they have that. They're the experts. Ask them, and they will tell you what you need to make your lawn look the best. And all your favorite brands. We're talking Toro, Kawasaki engines, Cub Cadet, Aaron's, Precision Lawn and Garden. And of course, you want your driveway to look fantastic. So go see our guy, Brian, Express Sealers on the east side only. Express Sealers, 645-2010, 645-2010. He seals driveways in the summer to make your driveway look really pretty. And then he plows in the winter when it's really snowy. See how that works? Express Sealer, 645-2010. Please support our advertisers. They support us here at the We the People Podcast Network and Kimberly's Revolution.
Hey, she knows a guy.
I know a guy.
She's got a guy.
I got a guy who knows a guy. Got a guy. I got guys.
Well, that's just way too many guys.
Well,
Live from the We the People broadcast studio in sunny, muggy, hot 88 degree Irondequoit, New York.
yes.
They've been triggering snowflakes for at least 20 years. Here they
I
are.
like it.
It's Kimberly and Chad.
Hey, it is Kimberly's Revolution, and it's Kimberly, and it's Chad, and it's just Tom,
And
of
a
course,
few other guys.
and a couple of other guys. Guys who are standing around. We have our own
Way to
bodyguards.
go. Start the show with offensive pronouns.
That's offensive.
Shocker.
I'm always offensive. So
What if they're girls?
What's that?
What if they're girls?
They can be girls.
What if they don't know what they are yet?
Well, that's a problem. They
Chad,
wouldn't be
that
working
would be
around us.
non-binary.
What if they're transgendering?
First off, let's just say they probably wouldn't like our politics, so we don't have to worry about that. I am Kimberly of Kimberly's Revolution. Welcome, Patriots, to Kimberly's Revolution on the We the People Podcast Network. We're so glad you're here. Of course, Chad Hummel is the attorney broker for Revere Realty, which is the umbrella that we fall under here. We are realtors and appraisers and brokers. So we specialize in real estate, appraising your house, helping you buy a house, helping you sell a house. We do it all. So if you need any help in that arena, give us a call here at Revere Realty. What's the phone number, just Tom?
We love master bedrooms.
We do love master.
I don't know what soup to nuts is, but that's what we are.
Okay, what's the phone number for Revere Realty?
467, and of course, 1776.
Of course it is.
What happened in 1776?
It was an insurrection,
It's
Chad.
like a tea party.
That's
and
right.
People were throwing
Exactly.
tea in the water. It's not very many, environmentally friendly, putting your tea in the water back in the day.
Isn't that how you make tea?
It was an
Well, I don't think you put it in like a,
That's just a
major
big tea.
body
it
of
was
water.
it was an insurrection. That's correct.
It was
Just
an
Tom.
insurrection. Yeah. So, and also joining us, just Tom, who is the appraiser and the broker and real estate portion. And I'm a real estate agent. So we can all help you here. Austin is our producer. And he makes, there he is.
Hello.
He makes everything happen.
Hey,
Make
guess what,
everything happen.
Kimberlina?
What?
Today is the 1 year anniversary of that picture.
Is that right?
Yeah.
How do you know that?
Who kept track of that?
I don't even
it
know.
popped up in my Google Photos like
Oh,
this
wow.
1 year
It
ago
did?
today. Yeah.
That's awesome.
He looks the same.
Yeah. Weird.
I know he does. You know what? You've aged so well.
His thumb hasn't grown an inch.
Your shirt hasn't changed color in like weeks. But yeah, so glad you're here. And of course, Austin makes everything happen and Fitz at Rockvox Productions, ROCVOX Productions. If you're thinking about starting your own podcast, and why wouldn't you? Because we have so much fun. You had fun yesterday. I was not able to be here. I picked up a couple of new clients. So I was helping them yesterday, but Lavelle set in for me yesterday on Kimberly's Revolution. And I hear he got in a fight with a Karen in the parking lot, which I'm
Yes.
like, dude, that's awesome. I love it when there's a ruckus that I'm not involved in.
Yeah, apparently Lavelle's also triggers snowflakes.
Wow. Well, you know, people,
That's what we like to do around here.
that's what we do. We like to raise a little, you know, awareness, raise a ruckus, get people going, you know, to trigger them. That's what we so like to do. So yeah, anyway, thank you to Lavelle who sit in for me yesterday. Appreciate that. Today's show is called Just Like Riding a Bike.
It's easy, right?
Just like riding a bike.
Easy.
Well, it's easy for some people.
Now I know you guys
It's
touched on this topic a little bit yesterday.
Mhm.
Joe Biden's misstep,
Mhm.
right? To
No,
say
is it-
to say the least. But
Well,
I can't wait till we cover this today.
yeah, we're going to cover that. Just Like Riding a Bike is the name of the show today. But I want to start off the show with a couple of pictures. I don't know. I have a grand dog. So my daughter and her boyfriend are down in Florida on vacation, and I get to watch Tyron. I call him Ty Ty. And so it's my job to babysit. There he is.
Is he
today. Look at him. Look at him.
The hell's
He's
he
like-
doing?
He's like,
He's waiting for his belly to be scratched.
It looks like rigor mortis is setting in.
he's asleep in the middle of the floor after he came in from playing outside. That is Ty Ty.
Well,
he-
Chad,
Hopefully
don't,
his nails are clipped. He'll scratch those.
Chad, don't
hardwoods.
you sleep on your back?
He is. He
Not
is,
with my paws up in the air.
he is-
Sure you do.
He is. Look at that. He's all spread eagle. Can you go? Yeah, bring that down a little bit.
Jesus. Well, at least we know he's a male now.
He's hot. Well, he's getting. That's changing next
He's getting
week.
transgendered.
Yes.
See?
Yes. Those balls are coming off.
Well, he's just
What's wrong
enjoying
with
them while he's
America?
got 'em.
Those
We
balls are coming
neuter
off.
everyone in America.
Well, yeah. So that's Ty Ty, and he is a 1-year-old blue nose pitty, and he is the most lovable dog.
He is cute.
He is a good-looking dog.
What is a blue nose pity?
It's just a breed of pit bull. They have the blue nose. They have kind of the silvery
So he's a
brownish coat.
Chad, it's when you crossbreed.
Smurf.
Chad,
He's a Smurf.
Chad, it's when you crossbreed a pit bull with a dolphin.
Anyway, so
Ah,
leave
all
the
right.
balls alone, Sean. No, those balls are coming off. She also has a Rottweiler, and the Rottweiler's name.
Alone.
The Rottweiler's name is Cash, and his balls are coming off next week too. So we'll have a deballed Rottie and a pitty.
What's the fascination in America with everyone wanting to cut their own balls off?
Well, first off,
Getting their things snipped at a certain age. I just
This
don't understand any of that.
keeps him from hiking his leg all over everything in the house, which actually he doesn't do. But it just makes them. It's better. It's better for if you don't plan on breeding them.
It saves
know,
a lot of pillows in the house.
It that and it expands their life amount of time that they live. So it's actually better for them. So
So if I cut my balls off, I'll live longer.
It's possible, Chad. You want to do that live on the air?
let's do that'll be fun.
But would you want to?
Of course, that's high ratings for the podcast.
Well, you don't
Why
need them
wouldn't we
anymore. What do you need them for?
Would you want to live longer? is
Not
what I'm
that
saying.
not that he
Yeah,
is
exactly. I got that, Austin.
not that he's a nice dog. We don't have it. He loves the cats. Speaking of cats, I don't know what was going on with the animals in my house today. That's one of my cats. That's Elizabeth Taylor.
Wow.
Nice.
That is a great question. What is going on at your house? I have never seen a cat lie on its back.
And then looked at me when I walked in the room. I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. What is going on with
Is
the
that its
animals?
tail between its legs, or is it just happy to see you?
No, she's a she, and she is fixed as well. But yeah, she is just laying on this fluffy pink blanket that I have on my bed.
Looks like she just got done with blue nose pity to me.
We're all sexually hyped up in my house, right? I think it's the heat. The heat got my animals like, what's going on?
Got to air it all out.
Seriously, that's not really a cat. That's a blanket, right?
That is Elizabeth Taylor, and she is a cat. She is a Persian. She is a
meow.
rescue.
I hate long-haired cats.
That I have. What do you mean?
I don't like long-haired cats. I like short-haired cats. I have a cat.
She's shaved right now, as you
Isn't
can
a
tell.
cat a cat?
She's got her summer shave going on.
Well, look, you have
It's usually-
barking cats in your
I
house.
do. Yes.
All right, so those are my pictures to get the show started today. Also, I don't know if you guys saw this, but
I know I didn't.
can you stand on one leg
Yes.
for 10 seconds? Because if you cannot without falling over, that means that you have a serious increased risk for death.
I've done it for police officers a lot.
Like-
because they pull you over and think you're
Like
drunk.
death, like in 10 minutes or
So middle-aged people who that would be us except for you're not really middle. How old are you?
I'll be 48 tomorrow.
Well, are you planning on living to 96?
Your birthday's tomorrow?
My birthday's tomorrow.
Happy
Get out.
birthday,
Happy
Mr. Hummel.
birthday.
I was
happy
born
birthday.
June 23rd, 1974.
Happy birthday.
Well, nobody
That's
knows.
amazing.
Nobody knows Chad's birthday because Facebook says it's January 1st.
Oh.
Yeah. It does, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
Really?
Yes.
It's also
All right.
my mom retires tomorrow also on
Yeah,
my
I was
birthday.
going to say that. Chris is retiring
Yeah, she's
on your
retired.
birthday. Is there going to be a big party?
Congratulations, Chris.
Yeah, congratulations to retirement. That's something.
Just a little get together.
Yeah.
Nothing too crazy.
I didn't get invited.
I'm not
I
invited.
didn't get invited.
Austin
I haven't been invited.
Invited
yet.
No,
to
I,
the
I haven't
soiree.
been invited.
wasn't invited to the soiree. Well, congratulations, Chris. Putting in how many years where she worked?
Currently, I think 20 years
Yeah.
with ADP,
Wow.
sales trainer and payroll sales.
Yeah. Now she's going to hang out at the casino and try to win big
Oh, yeah,
bucks. She's
absolutely.
very lucky.
She does well at the casino.
So tomorrow is your birthday. You'll be.
I think she counts cards.
She counts cards. You'll be 48.
Of course she does.
I'll be 48.
Can you stand on one leg for 10 seconds?
Would you like me to demonstrate?
Yes.
Do I have to do it on my good
I
leg or
don't-
my bad leg?
I think you're supposed to be able to do it on both, but they say that middle-aged people who can't stand on one leg
Which leg did you
For-
self-heal your MCL and your ACL?
at least
Chad?
10 seconds are at a higher risk of dying within a decade. You have to hook your
6,
leg.
7,
bu-
8, 9.
You're
10.
supposed to hook your leg behind your other. Researchers found that if you struggle with this simple balancing test, 84% were likely to die within the next 10 years. That's very good. But you're 48. So I tried it
It's
on both
easy.
legs.
What happened? Did you fall over?
So here's what you're supposed to do.
Did you land on the
Can,
cat?
can you try it on your third leg?
You were you're supposed to lift one foot, place it behind the opposite lower leg without touching the ground, keeping your arms at your side and looking forward. I kind of did the yoga pose and I did the standing, kind of like that because
Downward
but
dog.
you're not supposed to do that because I guess this kind of helps you balance. So if you want to know if you're going to die tomorrow, stand there on one leg for 10 seconds and see if you can do it. If not, we wish you well. Sayonara.
Thanks
Goodbye.
for watching.
Glad you were around this world for a while. And yeah, but
I'm
but
not going to do it, Kimberly, because I just want to be surprised.
just you don't want to know.
Right.
So I don't know. You got to have like a little margin for error. So it depends on whether or not you've had a couple of drinks.
How many idiots right now are standing on one leg?
Well, all
Stop
of our
it,
patriots,
people.
you're all
Stop
doing it. You know you're doing
Stop it.
You're standing there on one leg for 10 seconds.
You look stupid.
to see if you're going to die tomorrow. Kathy says, happy birthday, Chad. We share
Thank
a
you.
birthday separated by a lot of years. I know, Kathy, you're so young. Chad
What
is,
is she 28 or 68?
is an old dude. I think Kathy is 28 again.
Thank you, Kathy. Happy
think-
birthday.
So yeah. Oh, you like my earrings? Thank you. Venus.com. Venus.com.
Yeah, I
And
go
this
there
is-
every night.
this shirt,
Venus.com.
the shirt is from, can you see the shirt? Lily Pulitzer, which I love, which my husband hates because
What is this, a fashion show
the
or what?
tops are very expensive. so I get like one top a year. That's all I get. All right. So down to one more fun thing before we start with the crazy. Do you guys, we get up pretty early to feed the dogs and cats in the house. And this is the first time that this has happened. This has been able to be seen since 1864. Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, and Saturn
What about Uranus?
will be visible. That's offensive. Will be visible every morning until the end of June in alignment.
Chad's anus is always visible.
In alignment, though, which I think is kind of cool. So Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, and Saturn lined up in a rare alignment that won't happen again until 2040. There they are.
Wasn't there a movie
Wow.
that something like this happened and like everybody died?
Disney's Hercules.
Is that true?
Is that what it was?
So they say while it's common to view a couple of planets that are
You're
together
right.
at any given time, this particular alignment has not happened since 1864. And so this morning with the naked eye, you can see 3 or 4. You can see Jupiter because it's pretty big. Obviously, they're right there by the moon as it's setting. And this morning from my front porch in Greece, you could see at least 2 of the planets right behind the moon. It's really kind of cool.
Wait a minute. So you had the Pinot already open this morning on the front porch?
I know, right? I know. That is crazy. All right. We got to talk about this Joe Biden thing. Just like riding a bike. Clearly not for some of us, right? When you saw this, what were your first thoughts, Chad?
I don't think I can say that on live TV.
My first thought was, why is an
Oh.
80-year-old riding a
I
bike?
haven't seen that. So I saw the video where it looked like it was a homemade or a home,
Well, let's see the video. The video was
passerby
taken.
caught it
Yeah.
and it shut off as soon as he's halfway down.
Yeah. So there it goes. I mean, I had the longer version, but basically what happened is that Secret Service ran to help him along with some passersby.
Did he
So-
start right at the top of the hill there and just coast?
So there they all are. That he spent a nice vacation. Isn't it nice that Joe can afford to go on vacation in Rehoboth Beach while the majority of us are dealing with astronomical gas prices and food prices at the grocery store that have severely limited what people can buy, and the interest rates have jacked up about 2 percentage points in the last month. It's nice that Joe can go and relax at his summer home and ride bikes and
Fall
not
off
a
his
care
bike.
in the world, right? But he spent the weekend because he can afford to take a vacation. He doesn't worry about gas prices or, everything, going up, the price at the pump, the groceries, whatever.
Well, he was saving gas by riding his bike.
So the nation flounders and he is on a bike and about breaks his neck. Who thought that was a good idea to get Joe Dementia Biden on a bicycle? Who thought that was a good idea?
You know,
Did anybody-
after in the winter when you've had a couple of pops and somehow you slip in the parking lot,
Yeah.
and you stand up as fast as you can.
Oh.
Like, I didn't do that.
Who
What the
saw
hell
me?
just
Did anybody
happened?
see me?
Anybody see me?
I know, right?
That's what it seemed like.
Yeah.
So he's got his helmet on. Are those some highfalutin bicycle gloves
I
that he's
know.
wearing?
He's got gloves on. Yeah.
He needed
Yeah.
knee pads.
He needed knee pads.
He
yeah.
did need knee pads, but he fell. They helped him up.
I read a whole bunch of commentary on Twitter.
Yeah.
Because the person who had shot the video posted it on Twitter.
Mhm.
And then, of course, there was thousands, right? It
Of
has to do
course.
with the president of the
I
United
love
States.
the memes are the best.
There's thousands of
Yeah.
responses. And I read,
like that one.
The
what is that?
the memes are the best.
Yeah.
Who's
I'm
that?
sorry. And of course, someone decided to post a picture of Trump, and Trump's a little overweight, right? And this is someone that gets absolutely crazy when someone dares fat shame them. Or
Did Trump fall off a bike?
No, Trump didn't fall off a bike because he's
Did
smart
Trump
enough
fall
not
up
to
the
get it.
stairs to Air Force One?
No,
Up the stairs?
He's smart
3
enough not to
times?
get his fat ass on a fucking bike. I mean, at least he's got brains, right? He goes, I'm not going to get my fat ass on a bike. I'll fall over. Everyone will make fun of me. No, but someone that it is so
Do you have the picture that you're talking about?
crazy. I don't. But there's a picture of, everyone's laughing at Biden, but why isn't this guy? But I think it goes something like, but this. And I'm like,
Well, there's no buts about it. It is what it is.
freaking idiot.
Biden fell off of his bike.
Yes,
That's what we're talking
yes,
about.
yes.
Period.
It's someone that hates for any kind of body shaming or fat, and they tweet about it constantly, and the virtue signaling kills me. But whatever.
Can we watch the video again, Austin, where he's falling off, and can you freeze it when he rolls up and takes his foot off the one pedal?
So there they are, enjoying a leisurely bike ride while the country is disintegrating before our very eyes.
It's all for show, of course.
Right, of course it is.
I want to
So there's bystanders around.
Can we see the bottom there? Can we see his feet or no?
Yeah, right
He's
there.
got
His foot gets caught in
one foot's
in the
on the
pedal.
ground.
See, here's the thing. And this is, so there was a lot of tweets, and the common theme, of course, for those that were trying to defend the president
Yeah,
against the indefensible. I mean, he fell off of his bike, period.
fell off his bike.
So, but the common theme was, well, he was wearing those pedals that have straps on them, and this happens all the time. People's feet get caught, things like that.
They do?
That's true. But here's
Okay.
the thing, and I'm no doctor.
I've never fell over on a bike, but I'm much younger, so
I'm no doctor, but my take on this, and now the news, my take on this is
you're sucking at your job.
the
Obviously.
dementia-ridden old bastard.
Yes,
His foot didn't get stuck per se. He forgot to take his foot out.
yes.
He remembered to take
Yes.
that foot out.
Yeah.
Right. He knew as he was rolling up, he knew that he was getting ready to stop and that he would need to step off the bike and get his balance.
Right.
So he pulled that foot out as he was stopping, even before he stopped, and he put it down. If we watch the first video where we see him fall, you can see he's so excited. He just wants to jump off of his bike. He forgets to take his foot out. Watch. He's all ready to rock and roll. And he's like, oh shit, I forgot to take my foot out. His foot didn't get stuck. He forgot to take it out.
It looks like it got stuck, Chad.
It's
No.
not stuck. He's trying to get off of his bike without.
Trying to get off his bike. Yeah, but here's the thing.
He's an idiot.
This is just. There's been a series.
He fell up the stairs.
And people are like, how dare you post that the video of Trump? You see that all over. People just
How dare you post a picture of Biden? you're saying.
Biden. Yeah. How dare you post a picture of Biden falling off the bike? How dare you post a video that's, un-American, whatever. But did any of the national news run with that on Monday? Does anyone know?
I don't. I didn't. I've tried to stay away from
But I will tell
the
you
national news lately.
that this
It's too aggravating.
is just a series of a number of falls. And I have to ask you, a number of falls.
Yeah.
Well, I've only seen one where he falls up the stairs. Apparently, him falling up the stairs of Air Force One has happened on a number of occasions, most recently on June 8th, as he flew out of Washington, D.C. for an interview with Jimmy Kimmel. Did you guys see that?
No.
Did
Is
you guys
Is there a
see-
video of it? Oh, you're saying it wasn't put out
I
there.
mean, nobody saw that, right?
No,
Not me.
Nobody wants us to.
According to the Washington Post, Biden has fallen up the stairs on Air Force One repeatedly during the last 16 months of his presidency, most recently on June 8th, as he left for DC for an interview with Jimmy Kimmel. No one has seen video of that. There are no pictures of that. The only one that we have been able to see is the one, of course,
that somebody happened to take
that someone happened to take.
and release.
But now they probably don't let anyone take pictures or video as President Joe Biden is getting on Air Force One, because the guy is old. And what happens when we get old?
You
What did I
can't-
just tell you?
You can't balance on one foot.
You can't freaking balance on one foot because
It's just like riding a bike.
the older you get, the worse your balance gets. It's a nature thing. I mean, the older you get, your body isn't able to balance as it once did. And Joe Biden is in the throes of dementia. I think we can see that when you look at it. He's got like potato face. He's got that. I mean,
It's such an
you
embarrassment.
guys ever heard
too.
that phrase, potato face?
Yeah.
There's
Could you
just
see?
nothing.
I don't think Putin falls off bikes.
I see him riding shirtless on a horse. And in December of 2020, and I don't ever remember seeing President Biden in a medical walking boot. Do you?
No.
He broke his foot while taking a shower. He fell in the shower, and that was in December of 2020, and he had a medical walking boot. I don't ever remember seeing President Biden or any shots of him with a medical boot on his foot. Why is that? If that were Trump,
The public's not supposed to know.
or any other,
Oh yeah, I mean there was.
I mean, come on.
We all recall what Trump derangement syndrome was, right? I mean, every day, every hour, every minute,
something,
the national
something.
news cycle was Trump this, Trump that, Trump this, Trump that.
Right.
And again, it sounds trite at this point, but what if Trump had fallen off of his bike? Are you kidding me?
I know.
With what the national news would have been calling for, they would have wanted a psychologist,
25th
they would
Amendment.
have, everything, right? They were constantly demanding his medical records and his physicals and his health status
Right.
and,
Boom,
and
there
this,
he
that,
goes.
and the other thing. And here's
Yeah.
a guy that can't walk up the stairs, can't ride a bike.
And it's a serious issue. I don't know who thought, hey, here's a great idea. And anytime anyone says, hey, here's a great idea, it generally ends very poorly.
Is there there's no audio to that video? We can't hear what he's saying?
there is. Yeah.
Can we hear what he's saying there?
Says I'm okay. Says I'm okay. I don't know what he's saying.
Happy anniversary.
Yeah.
Hi.
So there he is.
Wow.
So he's riding a bike. He's enjoying himself on vacation as the nation continues to suffer under high inflation. I do have a TikTok I'd like to play because I think it's pretty funny about gas prices. I know my husband got gas the other day, $118 it cost him for gas in his Jeep SUV. We don't have anything special. We don't have like one of these big Tahoes. We have Jeep SUVs.
It's a good thing you're selling so much real estate.
Really? It is. I'm like, thank God for those checks coming in. People keep calling and we'll help you buy or sell a house. Let's see this TikTok because I think it's rather funny.
That was me Friday night at Scooters.
Come on, you had one of those pints or what are they, quarts?
Cold 45?
Yeah, baby.
That's a
Come
40.
on.
It's a 40.
It's a good Friday night. It's the weekend. So he
What I heard
thought that was funny.
I heard something about a meme or something going around, and apparently I have dementia too because I can't remember. It was just
Well, it is your birthday tomorrow, Chad.
within the last 48 hours. But somebody said something about driving from one pump to another. Oh, they put a few gallons of gas in their car,
Mhm.
and the remark was, "What are you doing? Driving to pump number 4 now? You're at you put in 4 gallons at pump number 3,
Right.
and that just enough to get you to pump number 4.
So that's horrible, isn't it?
That's where we're at. $5 a gallon.
It absolutely is. And I've heard of people saying that they can't afford to go on vacation now if they're driving to wherever their vacation is. We're driving to vacation to stay at the beach house in Charleston, like we try to do every single year. You're driving to Myrtle Beach. Does this change your plans?
No.
No?
It's just going to cost more.
Your brother drove up here in his RV. God bless you
Diesel.
guys on RVs.
$1,500, I think he said.
$1,500 to drive the
From
RV.
Key West to Irondequoit.
Wow.
But they went to New Orleans and up that way.
And up that way.
You can't
Okay.
go much further south
Than
to
Key West.
north in the continental United States than Key West to Irondequoit.
That's
really.
true.
I mean, you can, I guess, Maine, the northern parts of Maine.
Sure.
But we're all the way at
We need
we're
one
all
of
the way at
those.
the northern border here in Rochester.
We need one
New
of
York.
those northernmost buoys, like they have in.
At Charlotte. Get
Key West, yeah,
Jose
northernmost.
on it.
Yeah. That'd be a good
Yeah, is
job
that
for
his
Jose.
district?
Yeah.
Um,
Jose, we need a buoy.
yeah. So you hear a lot of people say we're not going to be able to go on vacation. We can't afford the gas is double. I hear you. I feel the pain, but I'll
Yeah.
be damned
I kind of have a different take on
if
that.
if
though.
I'm going to let
Yeah.
Biden ruin my. But
There's a
Biden
secret
goes on
to that,
vacation.
Kimberly. You know what the secret is?
Yeah, you stop spending money on
no,
other things.
no, Visa.
Oh, run up your credit card. Great
into,
idea.
Go into debt now, pay later.
I had to
like
tell.
United States Treasury.
It's called rob Peter to pay Paul.
I
isn't
told
it?
a client
Yeah.
today, just to be, because we close on a house next week. I told a client today, very specifically, don't spend any money
Yeah, how'd
Don't-
that work for
Don't put on anything on a credit card
Oh, yeah,
until
before closing.
because she goes, oh, I was out looking at furniture today or yesterday. We were looking at appliances, and I'm like, do not open an account at Charlotte Furniture until we are closed.
you? Right.
Don't. I will wring your neck.
That was a non-free plug for
That is-
Charlotte
Yeah, yeah,
Furniture.
yeah.
That is the best advice any real estate
Don't
agent can give.
Spend money during the process of signing a contract or after you've been pre-approved for a loan
Tell us why, Kimberly.
because your debt to income ratio,
Look at
Because
this.
they pull those
It's-
numbers again
they
right before
pull
closing
the numbers before closing
for clear to close.
and it will F you.
She's having a good hair day and she's smart too.
I'll tell you, I learn everything from you too. I learn everything from you guys. So yeah, don't do that because it'll really screw you up and it could ruin the deal. So just in case. All right. I want to get to this Uvalde situation.
Yeah.
Uvalde, Texas, where the evil walked into a school with rifles, whatever.
That's a good way to
AKs,
put it.
The evil. I'm
Yeah.
just referring to these guys as evil, who walked into a Uvalde, Texas school and killed 19 babies and 2 teachers on May 24th.
Who put their lives in front of those children.
The teachers, yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. The mayor of Uvalde is saying that Robb Elementary School will be demolished after a gunman opened fire inside a classroom, killing the 19 children. He sharply criticized the authorities leading the investigation into the shooting and said that he and other city officials have never been briefed on how the investigation is going. There's obviously some big questions about what happened in the minutes
Blame the cops.
coming up to, what actually happened. But
Defund the police.
photos have emerged of Uvalde cops stacked and ready to storm a classroom with assault rifles and ballistic shields, but were held back by the top cop for 46 minutes while the shooter killed those kids and teachers inside that classroom. Did I send you pictures? I thought I did. Did I not send you pictures of the guys that were in the hallway?
Yeah, I saw a still shot that had been released of
There were,
2
I
or
maybe
3
forgot.
officers.
Can we play the first portion of that video that was 9 minutes? That I think, did you send it?
Yeah, there's a picture. There's a still shot in that video, embedded in that video.
Let's play the first portion of that video if we can. I'll wait while you get the video. Just Austin, do you have the video that we're talking about? Chad, did you send him the video?
I don't think I did.
You did? You don't think you did? Okay, hold on, and I will send it right now, and you can play the very beginning of it because it kind of gives you the timeline, and you can see in the hallway what we're talking about. Just let me know when you have that up there. One photo shows that cops were huddled behind ballistic shields in the hallway for 46 minutes before they actually confronted the gunman. The Uvalde mayor defended the police decision not to confront the gunman. And so you see all these videos that were happening. Let me know when you have that up there and we can play it. But one photo taken from surveillance at video at 12:04 shows police huddled behind a ballistic shield, feet away from the classroom. There was some kind of speculation that they were waiting for a master key, but you know what happened? The classroom was open. The door was open. It wasn't locked.
Can we say master key?
Master key. Yeah. It's 48 minutes
Really?
until the armed police officers storm into the classroom, and a total of 77 minutes elapse before police arriving at the scene and the confrontation with the gunman. Can we play that?
4 weeks since 19 students and 2 teachers were murdered inside of Robb Elementary School in Uvalde, Texas.
And this photo, obtained by KVUE News and the Austin American-Statesman, is giving us a closer look at the police response
See the
that's
shield?
been under so
Yeah,
much
the end,
scrutiny.
right on the barrel of the gun.
KVUE senior reporter Tony Pilhetsky joins us now tonight. And Tony, we want to preface all of this by saying to viewers that the details you're about to tell us are very hard to hear, but that this photo is our first look inside the school on May 24th.
Is this local news there?
And
It
it's
is, yes.
so significant because it really broadens our understanding of what happened and the police response that terrible day. The main headline to come out of this is that we now know that police officers had rifles as well as at least one ballistic vest within about 19 minutes after first arriving at that school. You can see in this photograph that an officer to the left had that high-powered weapon and that the officer on the right had a ballistic shield. The timing is important. This is at 11:52 in the morning, 19 minutes after the gunman entered the school. But keep in mind, this is based on a new calculation and a new timeline that I was able to review today. It took another 58 minutes before officers eventually stormed the classroom. I want to walk you through this new timeline. This is according to investigators that they have put together. The gunman got to Robb Elementary School at 11:28 a.m., crashing his grandmother's truck outside and exiting with a rifle and a bag full of ammunition. They say he fired shots at witnesses nearby. At 11:30 a.m., police got their first 911 call about the crash and shots fired. Just 2 minutes later, that's when the killer hopped a fence at the school and shoots at the building. 1 minute later, 11:33 a.m., he entered the school through an unlocked door unobstructed. At 11:44 a.m., Uvalde City Police and school district police officers started taking gunfire and moved back to get cover. After this, law enforcement sources tell us that teams on the ground were making calls saying, send all the firepower you can. And this is, of course, where this photograph fits in. 11:52. You can see it there on your screen. We see officers standing in the hallway at that elementary school, apparently trying to figure out what to do next. But again, it was not until 58 minutes, 2 minutes shy of an hour at 12:50 p.m. that U.S. Border Patrol tactical teams arrived before making an entry and killing the gunman. So this is just a lot of new information. And I have to be honest with you, it's a lot to make sense of mentally and emotionally. Frankly.
Okay, so
We should say that-
so you have that. And they also say there's also a report coming out that one of the on-site school officers,
School police officers.
what was it that you were telling me?
Well, one of the on-site school police officers was the husband of one of the teachers that died.
Right.
A female teacher that died apparently had called him or texted him saying that I've been shot. I'm at school. I've been shot and I'm dying. And he happens to be one of the school district police officers. Apparently the school district has its own police force, its own police unit.
Mhm.
And he rushes to the school and gains access to the school. He's armed, apparently. I'm not sure if he's in uniform or not. And the report that I read, I think this has been circulated in the news, is that his gun was taken away from him.
It was.
He was told to stand down. His gun was taken, and he was escorted out of the building.
They
So was he?
they confiscated his gun and they stopped him from I mean, he was going in.
Now, in some respects, and I don't know the chain of command in the police department and all that, but in some respects, I guess that does sound like it makes sense. I'm sure his colleagues on scene knew who he was and
positive,
and know that his wife is in there and that he might be acting out of own personal
The timeline is
and personal
disturbing to me.
interest.
Yeah. I don't know about you. And you know me, I am back the blue all the way. And the timeline is disturbing.
Well, here's the thing, though.
Just to say the least.
Just like statistics can be manipulated.
Sure.
We don't understand this timeline because just because there's a still frame that puts the officers in the building at the 19-minute mark. Let's assume that they know exactly when the shooter entered the building, that the reporter's correct about that. And let's say that they're correct that that video, that snapshot that we just looked at was exactly 19 minutes after the school shooter enters the building. That doesn't mean that those officers weren't in the building sooner. It just means that's the only video we're seeing. There may be a still frame showing those officers in that exact same spot 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes earlier. But notwithstanding that, if it's true that they don't gain access to the classroom until
58 minutes after.
58 minutes after 19, which is what, 77 minutes.
77.
So, yeah, what's going on in the interim? Well, I don't know this, but I think I do know this. If we were to watch
Well,
the rest of that video,
they were waiting on a master key. We do know that. A master key that wasn't needed.
well, if we were to watch the rest of the video, you would. I watched the whole 9-minute clip of that video we were just watching. The reporter later on in the video lets us know that part of the video that he was able to watch, that the reporter was able to watch, that's not been released to the public yet, shows the shooter, the killer, entering the classroom. And he says you can hear the immediate, in his words, immediate hail of gunfire that went on for, some time.
Right.
So
would it matter 19 minutes later? I get
These
you.
officers are in the building 19 minutes later. We're making so many assumptions by one still frame. Maybe those officers were in the building longer than what we're led to believe. Or maybe they weren't in there longer, but maybe by the time they were in there for 77 minutes, they figured out that everybody was dead.
Yeah.
And that at this point, all they're trying to do is apprehend somebody who may be armed further to the hilt and may try to escape the building and shoot others. And so there's some tactical operation that's going on that may have been accounting for the fact that everyone's dead.
And here, the fact of the matter is,
other than the killer,
obviously you could never ask a child or a teacher to go back to that school. So I think that is the right move, is to tear down the school. But when they break down the amount of time and the fact that, and you're right, we don't know what happened, how quickly it happened to those teachers. And we know from a phone call, right? I'm sure on the cell phone, they have that phone call of the teacher to her husband and what time it was that she'd been shot.
Yeah.
She was dying. And you have that time frame. So I'm sure all of that will come out at some point.
Yeah.
But it's just.
And I'm certainly no tactical expert, but what is the protocol for an active shooter inside of a building? Do you just storm into the classroom and take on fire yourself?
I think you have to, honestly, at this point.
Another part of the report is that these officers that are seen in this video, in the snapshot that we saw, in that still frame that we saw, they did try to gain access to the classroom by either jiggling the handle on the door, and they immediately took on gunfire through the door, and they immediately retreated. This is according to that reporter. He claims he's watched the live video of what actually occurred, and he said
they did take on.
They immediately approached the door, and that you can immediately see them jump back and retreat because apparently they took on gunfire. So again, I don't know what the protocol is in there in that situation when you're.
I would think that little tactical shield would have been helpful at the time. Maybe that guy should have busted through first. I mean, I don't know. We can't armchair quarterback it, right?
Yeah, we just don't know enough about it
because we don't know, and none of us are in that position. And I hope none of us ever have to go through anything like that.
Yeah,
because it's
it's
awful.
And the way we could probably prevent having to go through that is if the door had been locked. Maybe, I don't know. I mean, that
the back door,
single point entry.
Why was the door unlocked?
Why, I don't know why the door.
Another teacher propped it open. They were
had propped it open,
coming in and out.
You've heard
stuff.
Yeah, and you've heard me talk about this many times because I have 4 children. Well, I have 3 now that are in schools, right in the local school district, and I have occasion to go to the school buildings daily. I'm in either the middle school or the high school daily.
Right.
All right. A week ago, which was about a week after this, about 3 weeks after this occurred, after I've had, I think I talked about this on our last podcast, after I had verbal correspondence with the principal at the high school. Remember, we talked about the incident that occurred at Eastridge, where a non-student gained access to the building.
Right.
And one of the first things that the principal acknowledged to me over the phone was, well, yes, we do have to do a better job of how we, let people in or not let people in the building.
You.
Right.
You think right after this happened, ready for this? A week later, after I had that phone call with the principal,
right?
I'm back at the school district a few days ago. I think it was last Friday. My middle schoolers were taking high school Regents exams, a freshman Regents level exam. And their exam was at the high school. So I had to go to the high school in the morning. I get to the high school in the morning.
Yeah.
Around 8:30, 8:45. The exterior front door is propped open. It's wide open. Just come on in.
No, it's not.
Absolutely. It's wide open, propped open. Then usually you can gain access to that door anyway, because then the interior, there's a vestibule.
Right.
And typically,
Right.
so now the interior door is locked and you have to, and the security station is in the in-between. So you come in on the outside exterior door, and then you have to go to the security window to gain access to the interior of the building. I walk into the main door from the outside because it's propped open, and I immediately start to step towards the security window because I'm figuring that's where I'm headed. When I immediately notice that the interior door is also wide open, because the school was essentially closed that day to the high school. It was a readings exam for
But
just
still,
for the
there were
kids.
kids in the building.
Well,
yes?
yeah, there's dozens of kids in the building, including my two daughters. My two 8th grade daughters were in the building. Both doors were wide open.
I wonder how many schools.
So this
have
will happen
propped-
again.
It will
Do
happen
better.
And they will blame the cops, and they will Monday morning quarterback, and we'll be watching videos, and we'll be trying to figure out why the police didn't gain access to the door where the kids are dead already, because the building was left wide open.
It was.
How in the hell can a school district, you can come up with all the conspiracy theories in the world. It is what it is.
Yeah.
Why are the doors open?
That's true.
Why are the doors open? Wide open.
And that's just the front door. Can you imagine about the back doors or the side doors?
Yeah.
Are they locked?
Yeah.
I mean,
It's unreal.
it is unreal. That is crazy. And then you sent me a report that I thought was very interesting about what 97.8% of mass shootings are linked to. And
Yeah.
we kind of had this conversation before, because my theory on it, right? My theory is that a lot of
That
these
guns are bad.
No,
Oh.
that a lot of these shootings are committed by young white male individuals.
Yeah.
In their late
teens,
teens,
early 20s.
To which have probably been on medication
Oh, yeah.
for ADHD for the majority of their lives, right? Because mom and dad didn't want to deal with them, so they put them on the medication, and they're probably in one parent homes, not all, but most. But this is an article that you sent me that 97.8% of mass shootings are linked to and
Gun-free zones.
gun-free.
Here's the stat right from the article. 97.8% of mass shootings, basically every mass shooting,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
And they define a mass shooting, and apparently this is from the Federal Bureau of Statistics or something, but a mass shooting is defined as a shooting where 4 or more people are killed.
Right.
So 97.8% of mass shootings occur in gun-free zones, as of course the perpetrators know legally armed citizens won't be there to stop them.
Right. And they say, also that the shootings are linked to antidepressants, which became, kind of commonplace
In the mid-'80s.
in the mid 80s, where all of a sudden you have all these children in the 90s and beyond that are dealing with whatever ADHD, or they've got something else going on, and they're being prescribed antidepressants, especially these SSRIs, or as you might know them as serotonin reuptake inhibitors, that when you go off of them suddenly, you're going to go just batshit crazy, for lack of a better word, right? And so, they say that depression rarely results in violence, but only after antidepressants became commonplace did mass shootings really take off, as many mass shooters have been shown to be on antidepressants. What did I say a couple of weeks ago?
Yeah.
I'd love to hear the stats on how many of these young white males have been jacked up on some kind of ADHD med or whatever kind of meds, and then they go off of them and they absolutely lose their minds. But the elephant in the room, according to the Bureau of Federal Statistics, is antidepressants. Right there.
There you go. Problem solved.
The elephant in the room. I don't know, but Prozac was released in 1987, and then you had a slew of different medications that were an offshoot of Prozac.
Yeah, according to the article, there had only been one, by their definition, right? By the government's definition, there had
Right.
been only one mass shooting in the United States, and I think the decade prior to the release of Prozac. And then it was immediately after Prozac became commonplace in '89 that they talk about the incident where a Joseph Westbecker shot 20 of his coworkers, killing 9, and he'd been on Prozac for a month.
So they said in between the 2 decades, between 88 and 2008, antidepressant use in the United States shot up by 400%. And by 2010, this is startling. By 2010, 11% of the US population over the age of 12 was on some type of antidepressant ADHD medication.
That's crazy.
Well, because it's peddled.
crazy.
It's peddled like Halloween candy.
It is.
At the pediatrician's office.
So you're saying everything goes back to lobbyists and big pharma?
It always does.
Follow the money.
Yeah. Right.
Yep.
And then you wonder, and I told you that to begin with, but when you sent me this study and these statistics, and it's out there, right? You can find it.
Well, yeah, because of course
I
everybody.
mean, it's an article that was just done.
This is recent.
On June 16th of 2022. And it's, there's maybe we can find a way to put it up on
It's so
our Facebook page or whatever.
It's so intellectually dishonest and knee jerk that every time there's a mass shooting, we immediately have a mass segment of the population and the media that immediately blames the availability of firearms and so on and so forth.
How
And
about
it's just so preposterous because, and they always want to cite, well, Sweden and Canada and Norway and Germany, and they don't have the proliferation of weapons and so on and so forth. But, I've used the example before, but, there's hunting season every year, right?
Right.
Where is there more of a proliferation of firearms than in the woods in October, every October, November?
Of course.
And there are an occasional unfortunate accidental shooting, right? But normal, regular, law-abiding people that aren't on Prozac, for
Or
example,
medicated to the gills.
for example,
and it doesn't have to be exactly Prozac. It could be any of these mood-altering drugs.
Yeah, they don't just randomly start shooting everybody in the woods.
Chad,
right?
That's why I stopped hunting.
Sure, you were afraid to get shot.
No, I was shooting. No, never mind.
So, I mean, it's just absurd to blame the firearm. It really is. There's zero evidence. There's zero evidence to show that the availability, and they talk about, well, let's of course pass more gun regulation. Let's have more gun laws, more gun regulation, more gun laws. They can never point to a single gun law that they already passed or a gun regulation that they would potentially pass that would stop any one of these. Right? What gun regulation is going to keep that door locked at the school? Right? And of course we know that non-law abiding citizens don't follow the law, right? It's a gun-free zone. Why did the kid break that law?
Yeah.
Why didn't he stop when he got there? It was a gun-free zone.
You're right.
He just shot his grandmother in the face.
I don't get it. Why didn't he follow the law?
Experts point out, this is from this article, that there's a more uncomfortable truth that none of us want to deal with, is that mass shootings are far more likely to be the result of how we've been mistreating mental illness, depression, and behavioral problems.
Of course.
Well, then why the hell did they?
We don't discipline, right?
And
schools aren't allowed to discipline anymore.
No, schools aren't allowed.
Children have rights.
Well, then why the hell did these Republicans let everybody tie these red flag laws in now?
Doesn't matter. The red flag laws aren't going to matter because evil doesn't adhere to red flag laws.
Well, because that's the political game.
Right.
They felt the pressure.
And
they caved to the pressure.
But by the way, I mean, basically what they're saying is what we've said all along is that medicating your 5 and 6-year-old is a really bad idea.
It is.
Medicating your 11-year-old is a really bad idea.
Our pediatrician told us that pretty much from day one.
I would never do it if you don't have a smart enough parent.
If your pediatrician tells you to do that, find another
pediatrician.
Find another one.
I always say this: the lack of the medication isn't what's causing the problem. right? It's not that God forgot to put Prozac in our bloodstream, right? That's not the problem that the kids have and the lack of the Prozac.
Right.
So there is some problem, right, that might be causing their behavior or their depression or
right.
whatever it is that the doctor wants to say that they're having. But no doctor, no scientist can ever say the reason why little Johnny is X is because they lack Prozac.
Yeah.
Or they lack some
Well,
drug. That's not the problem.
You don't really hear about any girls that are 19 and 18 going on mass shootings. It's little boys that were medicated from an early age because little boys acted like little boys.
Hold on, that's a great point.
No, they did. Little boys act like little boys, but we don't want them to act like little boys. We want them to sit down and shut up and be still. And little boys just don't. They're just not wired that way.
What is the left
They're
wing?
just not.
What is the left wing progressive mantra always when it comes to gun laws? They want more. What kind of gun laws? Come on, somebody help me out here.
I don't more. I don't know.
Common sense.
Okay.
Right. It's always common sense.
I don't pay attention.
They
to
want
what the
more
liberal...
common sense gun laws.
Okay.
Okay. Let's
I don't even know what that would be though.
Let's take them at their word.
Okay.
They want common sense gun laws. And the latest common sense gun law that we've been hearing about, Kathy Hochul primarily, is we're gonna bump up the age requirement from what, 18 to 21.
Right.
I think is what her common sense
right.
gun law is going to be, is we got to go 18 to 21. Well, let's not stop there. If we're using common sense, let's only ban white males at that age from having a gun. Because when is the last time we saw a black person go in and shoot up all of his classmates? Well, other than at Franklin. When is the last time we saw a female do this?
Never. No,
so why should females be prevented?
Because
why should an 18-year-old female be prevented from buying a shotgun or an AR-15? Why? I'm using their common sense. See, their common sense always fails on its own, because you just take their own common sense and you take it to its logical conclusion.
You could beat them with it.
Yeah, their common sense gun law is it's only this group of people that does it. Okay, well then only ban that group of people. Then,
yes.
If that's how you want to go. I mean, I don't agree with that either.
No,
but
of course not.
If I'm going to use your logic, then let's use your logic.
That's a good point, counselor.
Thank you.
And you win your case.
Appreciate that.
But you think about it.
Case.
I've thought about it a lot.
Did you just think of that 5 minutes ago?
I think about things on the fly.
I'm not, I'm not anti-medication because I think medication is a great thing. I think that it has saved,
I think doctors are great
doctors are fantastic.
When you're getting in an accident, when you fall off your bike, for example, when you fall off your bike and your arm's hanging off, I would recommend you go see a doctor. They're really good at sewing things back on.
They certainly are.
But other than that,
I mean, there's
more people die from medical malpractice than from gunshot wounds. End of story.
That's very true.
The thing I wanted to also talk about was that polio is spreading like wildfire in the UK.
Put your mask on.
I don't even know if the mask. It's the highest.
It's in the wastewater.
It's the highest infectious outbreak detected in the UK since 1984. And they're urging you to make sure that listen.
Did you read the article?
I did. You don't want polio. I'm just going to tell you that right now.
Have you had it?
No, because I've been vaccinated. The last polio contracted in Britain was in 1984, but you have a whole slew of people now that don't want to get their kids vaccinated. But I'm going to tell you, it's a lot better than having your kid.
As you're talking to one, the Mr. Anti-Vax.
Did you hear what the outbreak is being caused by? What the so-called outbreak is, though?
They found it in sewage samples, by the way.
It's not an actual.
He's two steps ahead of you.
It's not an actual. Well, I took her text seriously today. She posted the topics. I researched them.
Polio is bad.
Polio is bad.
Right.
Well, don't get vaccinated for polio.
COVID is a cold and polio is bad. Let's make that distinction.
They're finding vaccine shedded polio in the wastewater through routine tests. In other words, apparently governments check, after you flush the toilet, they check your wastewater to see what's in your body.
Right.
All right. That's how they track us. So they're checking wastewater in the UK, and they're finding remnants of polio, right? But what they're tying it to is somebody who was vaccinated and came into the country and is simply shedding the virus that was injected into their body.
You think?
So there are no cases. They haven't actually had a case of polio. It's so bizarre. It's almost in reverse. It's not that somebody has polio and is spreading polio. It's that somebody got polio from the vaccine, and they're telling you to go get a vaccine so that you don't get polio.
Bless you.
'Cause
COVID.
Austin is spreading polio,
COVID.
and they said it gets spread by
COVID.
sneezing.
COVID, exactly. Yeah. And one more thing, several incidents of gunfire where a gun just decided to shoot up a bunch of
Again?
houses in Rochester.
I thought we fixed that.
Several incidents of gunfire with, I don't know, there were a couple of 5 kids in a house. There was several shootings
We're
last
shooting
night.
houses still.
I'm glad in the state of New York that our very strict gun laws stopped a slew of shootings and one homicide, broad daylight, in a driveway yesterday here in the city. Thankfully, those guns will be locked up,
What guns
never
are doing
to
that?
do harm again.
Are they the AR-15s? Are they handguns? Are
They're
they
handgun.
shotguns?
Who knows?
What are they? Why don't we ban those guns?
We don't know because it's not the guns
Why don't we
that are the
ban?
problem.
Why don't we ban 14-year-old black boys in the city from having guns? Oh wait, they're not buying them at Dick's, are they?
No, they're not.
So where's the common sense gun law for this? Why not a curfew? Let's ban. So if 90% of these shootings are being done by 16 to 20-year-old black males in the city of
In the
Rochester,
city, the drive-bys on
why
the
don't-
houses, by the way.
why don't we ban them from being outdoors after 7 p.m. at night?
A 64-year-old man was hit by gunfire while he was in his living room last night. You're minding your own
Why
business.
don't we ban living rooms?
You're minding
If
your own
he didn't
business.
have a living room, he never would have gotten shot.
You're minding your own business in your house on Tremont Street.
You're out of line, counselor.
Do you know
I
where
object.
Tremont Street is?
Is that next to a street
What street is
with a
this?
president?
Tremont and St. Clair.
It's over by Cornhill, I believe.
Tremont and St. Clair.
Yeah, it's 07
He's
or 08.
standing in his living room and he's shot because someone doing a drive-by decides to shoot up a couple of houses.
Oh, that's right. These are drive-bys. Let's ban
Shooting houses.
black teenagers from riding in cars. That's a common sense gun law that would
Yeah.
prevent this. There'd be no more drive-bys. They're not going to do it if they're on foot, right? Because they wouldn't be able to get away fast enough.
So 33 homicides as of
Nobody's
yesterday.
taking my recommendation seriously.
I'm taking it
I'm
seriously.
pissed. Austin, can I get a little help here.
No comment.
33.
You're in contempt, counselor.
So July.
Humble
no,
from
July.
Alcatraz.
What is
Out.
today? June 20th, right?
22nd.
So what
Juneteenth.
what was yesterday? The 20. What's today?
Who knows?
Okay, so
today's
Ju-
the 22nd
so
because
June-
tomorrow's my birthday.
Right. Tomorrow's your birthday.
Happy birthday.
So yesterday was the 21st. So June 21st, we already have 33 homicides in the city of Rochester.
That's it.
33.
So we're down from last year. So last year we had 90 total.
It's
so we're doing-
June.
Yeah, we're halfway through the year. We're at 33. We're doing
33.
great. Yeah, we're doing great.
Well, with
Malik Evans is on fire.
We don't have a police chief, by the way.
No, we don't.
Just to let you know,
But we're going to have one in 2 weeks, even
we've
though
made
he said that 2 weeks ago and 2 weeks before that and 2 weeks before that.
250 days without a.
Yeah, who needs a police chief?
I want to show you my one last picture. I've always been fascinated by this story. I think, has anyone ever been to Alcatraz? Have you ever been to California and you've taken a tour through
I've
Alcatraz?
never been to California.
I've never been to California either.
I've never been past the Genesee River, west of Genesee.
And they don't want you to go.
Whoa, wait a
These
minute. Is
are
that the progressive of Joe Biden's face?
Yes.
What the hell is that?
Yes, that's what that is. I'm
What?
fascinated by this story. I'm more fascinated by the fact that U.S. Marshals are still looking for these dudes. You can start by searching 6 feet under because they're probably all dead.
Well, they'd be
by
in their
now.
90s.
They'd be in their 90s. They're probably all dead.
I read that there's a letter that apparently the FBI. So I guess over the years the FBI poo-pooed all of the evidence
Right.
of their supposed existence.
Right.
But there is a particular letter that the FBI received in 2018 that they didn't affirmatively say wasn't good evidence. They didn't say that it was good evidence, but they didn't dismiss it either.
It was 2013
Oh.
that one of the guys wrote a letter to the
Yeah.
San Francisco Police Department saying that he would tell them exactly where he was if he was promised on TV
Cancer
that he
treatment, right?
wouldn't go to prison for more than a year and he'd be able to receive the medical treatment for his cancer that he was suffering from. And he said it's no joke. The letter also claimed that he was the last survivor of
Yep.
this trio, that his brother died in 2011 and the other guy died in 2005. The FBI handwriting analysis said it was inconclusive, so they didn't follow up on it. But the inmates are Frank Morris and his brother Clarence and John Anglin. They're the only guys to have ever escaped from Alcatraz.
Well, Sean Connery did it, right?
60 years ago, by climbing through the prison vents and pipes to the roof, sliding down on a smokestack, and navigating the waters of the San Francisco Bay on a raft made up of prison raincoats. And word is that they actually did all three make it, although it was dicey. They almost didn't. And once they got into San Francisco, they stole a car, and then
A blue Chevy.
they went on their separate ways. There was a picture of them taken in Brazil in 1975 at a bar. I've seen that picture, and it's said to be the two brothers.
I'm going to have the last word on this topic.
Okay.
Hummel from Alcatraz.
And now the
out.
Play it again.
Hummel from Alcatraz. Out.
And that's going to do it for Kimberly's
Hummel
Revolution
from Alcatraz.
on the We
out.
the People podcast network. We so appreciate you tuning in and watching. You can watch us on YouTube. You can listen to us on Apple Podcasts. You can find us on wherever you get your podcasts. Please support our advertisers, Taylor's Heating and Plumbing, Taylor 500 Help, Express Sealers, and Precision Lawn and Garden. We could not do this show without them. And it's always, we say we could not do the show without all of the Patriots on Kimberly's Revolution. Can we have that one more time? One more time?
Hummel from Alcatraz. Out.
God bless. Be kind to others.
From attic to basement, we're here for you. It's quality service in all we do. Call Taylor 500 Help.